This is overwhelming me. I have tried to edit this video 57 million times, and every single time I just stop because I don't want to. The introduction is painful. I go off on about 57 million tangents, but I kind of have to leave it all in because if I don't, it doesn't make sense, because I'll start a point, won't go back to it until like 10 points later, and then it's an entire mess. But here is the timestamp when I actually start talking about the books. But this is the warning. I am literally all over the place, and this will be the least edited video really in my entire life, so I just wanted to give you a warning. This filming setup is precarious. The ring light thing is balancing on my Jane Austen collection and my fairy tale collection. Well, one of my fairy tale collections. Okay, wait, hang on, let me just crop that out. Not me almost just doxing myself. How do I crop things on here? But that's the situation right now. Anyways, basically I made a decision at the start of the year. Okay, do I look like a little boy? Why do I look like a little boy with my hair pulled back? Like, I literally look like I could start talking about, like, I don't know, toy cars or something. Okay, I made a terrible decision at the start of the year, right? That I was going to kind of forgo the monthly wrap-ups. And let me explain why. Last year, I was doing the monthly wrap-ups, but I got, like, very nervous about them, you know? Especially because last year, like, I was actually sticking towards my monthly TBR. I picked the books. I was then like, I will need... Oh, by the way, I'm just giving you the backstory. I'm giving you the lore, if you will, about how we came to have all these books here. Okay, there's 39 books here, but I'll be talking about 40 books because one of the books... Okay, it's not a book, but it is... It's literally... I mean... It is a book to me. It's gonna be a book. It's gonna be a book. But, I mean, technically it's a fan fiction. And I'm constantly in a state of rereading it, okay? So I've read that book maybe, like, 5 times already this year. So, like, let me talk about it. But I'm not gonna go back to the end. You have to wait and see. Also, I feel like there's dust particles flying around. Dust! Go away! Please. Like, I had a bug in here the other day. It was an entire mess. Okay. I literally have, like, this, like, weird, like, little thing on my leg from shaving. And it's not going away. So, is that an infection? Potentially. Oh, yeah. So, I was very diligent about am I off center? Am I blurry? I don't know. But I was very, very diligent. Maybe I'll move forward a little bit. Okay. I was very, very diligent with my monthly TBRs. Okay. So I didn't want to do the monthly wrap up if I hadn't finished it. Okay, does that make any sense? Oh, I need to redo this. This is perilous. But basically, I was thinking, you know, and then there was like 1 month last year I read 1 book, and so I was like, okay, how can you do a monthly wrap up if you I read 1 book? So like, monthly wrap up. 30 seconds long. Then I was thinking, what if I do 2 wrap-ups in a year, right? A mid-year wrap-up. There is a bug flying around. I can see it. I wish it's plucked out of the editor. But I was thinking, okay, 1 at the 6-month mark of the year, and then 1 at the end of the year. And I was like, okay. And then I was thinking, wait, that seems like it's going to be a lot of work. So then what if I do Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 wrap-ups, right? This being Q1. January, February, March. There we go. Q1. I was thinking, okay. What if I do a Q1 wrap-up? Yeah. Well, then I read quite a lot of books, which I have a disclaimer. I'm going to tell you why I read a lot of books, because I can already, well, you know, I've actually never got anything like this, but I'm just imagining being like, there is no way you read that much. There is no way you can retain all that information. Yes, I can, and let me explain, okay? Just bear with me. Let me explain. Let me give you my disclaimer before you're like, there's no way you read 40 books, whatever. I have a lot of disclaimers here, because I've never done this before, okay? I'm waiting for my computer to load, because sometimes I get sidetracked, so I had to make a disclaimer thing. Why is my computer doing this? Everything is on the side. Hello? Oh, I just tried to dox myself again. Ew, why is a man texting me? Okay, no, I'm kidding. Not actually ill. Well, I don't know. What did he say? I'm not responding to that. Okay, but why is my laptop doing that? Like, why is it on the side? You know, this happened yesterday, and I was like, that's it. I've got a virus. I've literally got a virus in this. So I forgot how I did fix this. Guys, I don't know how to fix it. So I'm just going to be dealing with this because this stupid thing will not go horizontally. And I don't know how Did it just go horizontally just then? Wait, never mind, I fixed it. All that drama and for what? Why is there an ugly orange tint to my screen right now? I'm kidding, it's nightlight. I'm aware of that. Well, how did I turn it off? I'm just trying to tell you about the books. Well, first I need to give you a disclaimer because, yeah, I need to give the disclaimer so then people... Because, like, it doesn't matter, but, like, one thing I just cannot stand... Okay, maybe I shouldn't be saying this. Because I feel like I say too much and then it's like, well, I'll be like, you know what, it really hurts me when someone says this or does this. And then I tell said people that, and then the people then use that against me. So it's like, if I say one thing I don't like about me is when people, like, incorrectly assume or accuse me of something, I get like, why would you say that, you know? Okay. But anyways, okay, this is my disclaimer, okay? And I have to color code it. Did I read 40 books this year? Yes, okay. Let me explain how it's possible. How I read 40 books in 3 months. Honestly, I don't think it's that crazy. Honestly, I don't. But I've been seeing a little, like, TikToks, people being like, you know what? If the people that read 100 books a year, there's no way, they're lying. They're lying. And I'm like, but how can other people be lying? Well, okay, I guess a little bit. But, like, no. So I'm like, okay, well, I thought another reason that's not even on this list. One, I am now panicked. I'm panicked, and I'm actually now thinking, why do I have so many books for my physical TBR? Well, first of all, it's because I get nervous when I forget about them. Stupid reason, I know. It's like, we just write them in your notes app, but then I forget which notes app I put them in. I literally have over 5,000 notes. And it's after culling it. And yes, I need every single one. Like, I need all of them, so I can't just delete them, probably. I was in the middle of a lot of books from last year. That is true, because in December, there were so many books I wanted to read, and then I was like, wait, no, I need to be reading Christmas books, because I bought Christmas books to read in December. It's like, I need to be reading them. So then I was like, okay, let's put a pause on all these books that I actually really badly want to read so I can read Christmas books. And then, you know, I finished them early January because it was like 500 pages in to a 600-page book. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, not like I read, you know, there was quite a lot of them I was in the middle of. Also, I was very aware that for a second, I was something very ominous, but like my free time was on a countdown, okay? The free time clock, I missed. I tried to kill a bug. Wait, stop. What about that thing? It's like the crime of being small. Isn't it so good that I missed, even though it was a mosquito? No, mosquitoes, I'm actually allergic to mosquitoes. So, but like still. Oh my God, it's on me. It's on me. Do you see it? Guys, it's literally on me. It's literally that bug right. Guys, it's right there on me. Oh my God, the crime of being small. Yes. What do I do with it? Where'd it go? Okay, I don't know where it went. But you saw it. Where'd it go? I was like, I currently don't have uni. I currently don't have TAFE. Once I am in that period of time where I have both those things, it's going to be busy. That time is now. But also, I'm still kind of reading. Nowhere near as much, but I'm still kind of reading a lot because it's like escapism, and also I'm forgoing everything else. I'm not up to that point yet, okay? Also, I work retail, okay? There is like a quiet season after Christmas. Well, at least there is in my store. So Christmas, you know, everyone was working so many extra hours. You know, we had extended trade hours. So, you know, but then after, it's like everyone is cut back to like what they're like only supposed to be doing. You know, like no extra hours for you. Now that is starting to like pick up again. Now, here's my next point that I'm going to say. And this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. Even though I don't know why. And I saw a comment that I literally screenshotted because I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, but it is because some of them, yes, I did listen to the audiobook. Okay, and this is how I listen to audiobooks, right? So I had the audiobook on, right? How? Okay, Spotify, because I have the book, right? I'll be reading. I need to go do something. So instead of stopping reading that book, I then just put on the audiobook, right? Preferably I like to stop it at the end of a chapter, so I'm not just like trying to like match it up, whatever. And then I listen to the audiobook while I'm doing my little tasks, and then I go back to reading the physical book. Does that make sense? So I like utilize it all. Yeah, so basically it's like I'm in a perpetual state of reading. I use audiobooks to clean, to like even me getting all these books right now, I was listening to an audiobook. Because it's like, time is precious. Okay, so cleaning, commuting, before I'm going to sleep is a big one because I'd focus on it. And, oh yeah, also guys, I should probably say I do have some sleeping problems. So like, for example, well, it's kind of picked up a lot more now. I didn't really have sleeping problems. Well, I kind of did, but like, now I'm starting to get the full force back on my sleeping problems. My fault, I know myself. I can just get into these states where I just don't sleep for days and I'm completely fine. So, I'm going back to that phase, meaning I'm going to be reading so many more books, okay? And, yeah, anyways. And yes, I know why. And yes, my doctor knows why. And yes, it is no medical reason. I've been tested for, like, so many reasons as to why I have this little sleeping thing, and we know why, and it's not because of a medical problem. Okay, anyways, so I also abandoned TV shows and movies and music and podcasts. So in times when I would, in the past, listen to a podcast, that was very rare. I very rarely listened to podcasts. But in the past, anytime that I would have in the past listened to a podcast, the only time I've ever listened to podcasts is very briefly because, okay, off topic, my first ever job I ever did was this like cleaner thing. Honestly, I love that. It was such like a solitary thing. I didn't have to really converse with anyone. I could just listen to my little things and I would just do my job. And it was like, but I listened to like some podcasts like very rarely. Most of the time I'd listen to music, listen to audiobooks. Mainly I listened to Manacled. I would listen to Manacled over and over again. Anyways, so I abandoned TV shows and movies. What's a movie? What's a TV show? I don't know, because I had to get rid of them because it's like, okay, well, I'm starting to, or aside from like, that's a lie. There are some shows I do watch, or some movies I do watch, but it's just not like I was before. I also really needed the escapism. Okay, yeah, I really needed to just not focus on my outside world around me. So what better way to do that? Books. Yes, I do recall everything in them and I have retained the information. If you don't believe me, quiz me. Quiz me right now in the comments. Be like, okay, what is this? What is this? What is this? That's another reason why, okay, side rant. Okay, so some classics, right? That's why in classics, why do people just not believe you if you say you read classics?
I genuinely think it's because people have a hard time understanding that you can actually like multiple different genres. So like, yes, while I like thrillers and dark romance and things like that, I can also like classics.
I mainly annotate classics. I really only, okay, there are a few books I do annotate, just because like I want to remember things, right? But also if you annotate and you quote things, then it's like, well, then it shows that you actually like read. You didn't just be like, oh, good book. Anyways, what was I getting at? Oh yeah, quiz me right now. What was I talking about? I don't know, but anyways, so any book that I rate now is how I feel now. They're the ones that I feel now, not the ones that I gave when I originally rated it. Okay, some could be higher, some could be lower, some may not have changed, some could be more solidified. There could be, some books where I thought, this is a 5-star, and then I was like, is it a 5-star? And then now I'm like, definitely a 5-star. Or I could be like, no, this book is a 1-star now. Yes, because sometimes I'm feeling generous, and then now I just don't care. But that is my disclaimers. So now I've been sitting here for 20 minutes. Now it is time to actually discuss the books that I read. So the very first book that I finished. Well, I finished both these on the same day, so I don't actually remember which one I finished first, but I know I've both finished them on the same day. I'm pretty sure it was this one first. Maybe it wasn't. Guys, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Okay, basically, the first book that I finished, we're going with this one, because that's how it's listed in my Goodreads, is The Serpent and Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is one of those books that I did start last year, okay? I didn't just all casually read this in one day. No, I didn't even finish it on the first. I literally finished it on the third, I believe. Guys, I'm going to hit myself in the head with this book in a minute if I don't stop and just stay focused. So, I gave this book 4 stars. And honestly, right now in my heart, I'm like, 3.75. But I think I'm going to stay with 4 stars. I'm going to stay with 4 stars. Okay. This is the first book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. Basically, there's like duets. It's a series of duets. So there's this one, Ashes in the Star Coast King. But then there's also like novellas. There's, 6 Scorched Roses. And then there's, another duet. And that's The Songbird and Heart of Stone. But the characters are also connected to this book. So it's like a series. But like also duets within the series. This is a fantasy romance, okay? Also, guys, I did try to take notes. I took notes for this book. And I didn't take notes of any of the book because I was like, that's enough. I'm just going to sit here and wing it. So this review might be a little bit like, you know, proper and thought out. The rest of them, it's a free-for-all. So this follows Araya, and she's a human girl who's been adopted by this vampire king called Vincent. Now, Vincent is a baddie, but like, no, I can't say that. No, he's like really evil. He's like really cold. But okay, but like, wouldn't it be so good though if we did get like a story from Vincent? In this world, it's very dark and very dangerous. And if you are a human, it's especially dangerous for you because vampires want to eat. Well, they want to drink your blood. It's not really cannibal. Well, is it cannibals if you just drink the blood and not like go full force like gnawing on it? Humans, worthless in the society, okay? Which is why it's like, okay, why did this like vampire king adopt this human girl then? Wow. Then we have this competition called the Kajari, which happens once every 100 years, where if you win, the goddess of death, Nyaxia, will grant you a wish. Now, this competition is really deadly, it's really vicious, very brutal, and a lot of people compare it to the Hunger Games. I am guilty of that. I was just like, throwaway, yeah, Hunger Games situation, because it's about a whole bunch of people and they're fighting and they can kill each other, right? That's kind of like where it ends, because it is not the same stakes. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Sunrise on the Reaping has come out. No, I've not read it, but really, these people, they're choosing to go in this competition, right? It's not like in the Hunger Games where it's you're forced to go, you know, like it's really not like Hunger Games at all in the political sense. Anyways, she enters the competition obviously at a disadvantage because she is a human. There's learning to trust, betrayals, tension, friendship, romance. It's very plot heavy. I was really interested in her father-daughter dynamic with her dad because he's this really bad guy. No, he is. I really like the political system. I wish we got more backstory for certain elements. This book does end on a cliffhanger, so just be prepared for that. She is the sassy, has a lot of trauma, is very good at fighting, gives up all baddiness as soon as she meets a man and thinks she's in love. Lone wolf-esque female main character. We could have had more found family type vibe when she's in the competition because I felt like that's what it was supposed to be, but I didn't overly feel it. Yeah. In the competition, she meets these people in the competition, right? And I was really gathering that there should have been like this really sense of like found family closeness. And I should be holding up here. And I did kind of feel it. But like not really no, I didn't really actually at all. But I'm trying to be positive. Very plot heavy, very much not character driven, in my opinion. You know, if you take out, how I think of it, right, is if you take out the entire plot, would the characters still stand up? Now, I like this. It's not the greatest, most compelling fantasy romance book ever, but I'm still fairly new to the genre, and I like my time that I spent with it. Okay, now that is the end of my notes. I fear I don't have anything else. When the reviews start going downhill, that's just warning. But first book, 22. Now let's talk about As Good as Dead. So, this is a book by Holly Jackson, right? It's the last book in a trilogy, the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I rated this book 4 stars. What I will say about this book is a lot of research went into this book. And can I just say, this book was satisfying. It was a very satisfying ending. If you want to read a book where the characters get justice, read this. I feel like this book, to everyone, especially women who have had their story not believed, who have been accused of lying, have been accused of overreacting, and who have not gotten the justice that they deserve. This book is quite dark. I would say it's a lot darker than the other books, which actually, now that I think about it, the cover scheme, it kind of makes sense that it's like, that the tone and everything gets more dark and everything. Is it too late to throw in the towel? In this book, Pip is being stalked, right? And it explores a lot about her trauma, everything she's been through, and how she's trying to cope with that, things that she's doing to cope with that. And what I like about it is that it feels real. Again, you know, sometimes I say in a joking way, a lot of research went into this, but I genuinely think a lot of research went into this, especially mental health-wise as well, like, and how Pip copes and the things that she does. It is very frustrating, though, because there are so many scenes where no one is taking her as serious as it really needs to be, and that's the whole point. The whole point of this book is to show that, is to depict that, is when everyone knows there's something terrible going on, right? And the law enforcement, they're just like, yeah, well, and it's like, do something. You just want to like scream at them to just do something. I think this book is very interesting. The way that everything links, also very interesting. What I like about this is that Pip, she's clever, she's intelligent. She is not you know, she's smart, and I like to see that. I also like her and Ravi's little thing in this book. However, don't think I haven't forgotten about that weird unnecessary age gap that they had in the I feel like originally they weren't maybe intended to be lovers, and it's like, wait, they could be lovers, and I'm like, that's why they got such a weird age gap. Really seeing what she goes through, just her deterioration of her mental state throughout all the books. I like seeing that progression. Really, this book, it does open up a lot of questions about, you know, taking matters into your own hands when you aren't getting the help, and in fact you're getting disregarded from the police and law enforcement, you know, groups who are, you know, supposed to be helping and protecting, and it's like, well, where is this said help and protection? Because I cannot see it. But yes, I did like this, and I would actually recommend it a lot. Another thing I liked, there is again little mixed media things in these books, and I feel like the writing style is very quick, it's very snappy. For an example, Pip's head whipped around, full stop. She was alone in the street and the neighborhood was dinner time quiet, full stop. She turned back to study the words beneath her feet, full stop. See what I'm saying? Short, snappy, not fluffy, flowery writing, because I honestly think that if this book was fluffy and flowery, that's not the type of writing style that, when dealing with like serious topics like this, is needed. You know, second book down. How was that review, considering? Did I have any notes for it? No. I feel like I've forgotten to say something. Moving forward. Next we have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Now, this book was actually the very first Abby Jimenez book that when I read it, I was like, wait, I actually love this. I'd not give this 5 stars. I gave it 4.5 stars. And I actually really thoroughly enjoyed this. I also really loved the cover. This book, it's kind of, okay, yes, rich, city, female character, you know, dude from the small town, wholesome, chill vibes. She like goes to see him to like an escape from a very busy, hectic life. There is a reverse age gap in this, and honestly, I've never seen that actually ever. That's actually totally a lie. One time I watched a reverse age gap. I didn't actually read the entire thing, but it was like she was married. Yeah, she was married, and he was like the gardener, or not the gardener. I think he was like, he had to fix like, I think then there was a sink that was broken. Aside from that, okay, this was the first time I ever experienced it. I feel like, even though I cannot recall anything, I feel like there are a lot of movies with this kind of thing where it's like the character who's like has so much pressure on her from her family, or even like if the genders are flipped, just dealing with so much like pressure and like familial expectations. Oh, also Alexis, she's also dealing with an abusive ex situation. Not Daniel. Oh my god. Guys, I give up. Guys, I can't do this. How have I been sitting here for such a long time and I'm not even 3 books down? Anyway, so Daniel, he has this like a bed and breakfast type thing. Very wholesome guy. Did I already say that? This is where I need notes because then I just lose track. I know this book deals with a lot of really heavy topics, but I did find it like oddly comforting in a way. There's definitely a lot about expectations and family pressures, conflict within family, letting yourself love after being hurt, and like opening yourself up to that, about healing, about, you know, letting yourself consider about like what you want, not what everyone wants you to do or wants for you. I don't know, I just feel like this book was just so deep, and it was just so much more than just a romance. And that, my friends, is my cue to move on, I think. Next book we're going to talk about is The Carrow Haunt. I gave this book 2.5 stars, and that's me being generous. I was disappointed. This book could have been so good. Okay, basically, the premise is there's this haunted house. There's a group of people staying in this haunted house, basically trying to find, like, the paranormal activity, and it could have been so good. All these characters, like, on paper, they are so interesting, and it seems like they have such cool stories, and just everything just seems so interesting. However, it just felt like that was it. It was like someone was coming up with ideas for different characters and different personalities and stuff, and had written down a piece of paper, and like that was that, without actually like going into it. Because I felt like the characters were so two-dimensional. I felt like even though they're all supposed to be all different, I'm like, I like want to know like more, like it could have been so cool, and instead I was just disappointed in it. Like the idea and the situations that were happening, I was just like, please, like it could have been so good. It could have been So good. And unfortunately for me, I couldn't get past the characters. I just couldn't get past it. I was just like, sad. Okay, this next one is gonna ruffle feathers. And let me explain. I gave this book 2 stars. Okay? I gave this book 2 stars. 1 star is for the anxiety representation in this book. The 2nd star is for the kidney donor representation and the autoimmune disorder representation in this book. I really did like that. Now, what I didn't like about it, there was a miscommunication trope in this that I absolutely despised, hated. I felt like some of the characters, their interactions and stuff, I don't know, I just feel like the characters, this book, there were things that there were, you know, certain dialogue and scenes and stuff, and I just didn't like it. I just didn't. And I hated the miscommunication, and the miscommunication just made me want to, like, go in a corner and cry. No, that's so dramatic. That's such a lie. I didn't want to do that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, I don't know. And yeah, I definitely, but I know why people like it, but it's just, and sometimes the main female main character, she would just do things, and I just didn't like it. I did like the way that Jacob's anxiety, wait a second, no, I was gonna say, all her main characters have a J name. No, that is, I talked about Daniel, his name obviously does not start with a J. Next book we have is Quicksilver, and I originally gave this 3. I'll leave it at 3. What is this book about, you ask? Well, read the back. It's so informative. Now, as per a lot of fantasy romance books, I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's like Saris, something like that. She is poor, okay? She's very poor, and really, to survive, you have to be, like, an amazing thief. Otherwise, you'll just, like, die. Powerless? I know, I'm just saying. Guys, I'm kidding. Because you get it? Because Powerless is heavily inspired by, like, a million other fantasy books. She steals this thing called the Gauntlet. No, not that super fun game that, like, is a mix between Bull Rush and Dodgeball, where you have to, like, run and people try to peg dodgeballs at you, and then if you get hit, you get out. Not that game. Not that Gauntlet. A different Gauntlet. There's this war thing going on in another realm, and basically, she gets snatched. To this other realm, and it's, like, really cold and icy and snowy. There is a bit of a romance. Wow, I would have never guessed there'd be a romance in this. Honestly, everyone hates on this cover. I don't even hate it. And also, it's not AI, because I saw the TikTok of the author showing, like, the process of how she made it, because everyone was like, how dare the author use AI? This isn't AI. And also, I saw people saying that this dude, that's not who Kingfisher is. Oh yeah, because the guy's name is Kingfisher. Wow, never mind. I'm not getting into it. But if the name, all I'm going to say is if the name is throwing you off, don't let it. Don't let it. Because it'll be fine. It'll be fine, trust me. I would say, like, the writing style, it's very much modern, you know. On the other hand, I nearly killed over and died. You know, she swears a lot. Oh yeah, there's fae worries in this. It was an awakening. Yeah, you know what? It's like, it's typical. The romance is what you would expect in modern fantasy romances. The type of banter between them. The spice. It was actually quite fast-paced though, which is good. And it didn't, I wouldn't say it even felt like a 600-page book. Like, it actually didn't. Oh yeah, by the way, this was the book I was also talking about. Remember how I said at the start, oh yeah, like, the 600-page book? No, I basically read, was it this book? I feel like it was. I don't really remember, like, when I read the books. I just remember that I read the books. And yes, we love the Taylor Swift reference on the back here. And I love the butterflies, because I do love butterflies. But yeah, I liked the characters in this book. I liked the side characters. Ow! I will be reading the next, ow! Oh, these books are heavy. I will be reading the next one, though. Just because I want to know what's going to happen. Like, I need to know, you know. And then if I don't like the next one, then I'll be like, well, I'll probably still read the series, just to know. I might, like, read, like, those plot summary videos. There's probably plot summary videos for this, is there? Will I reread this book when it comes out, or will I just watch a plot summary video? Is there a plot summary video? No, I'm not looking it up. Doesn't matter. Okay, next we have The Coworker. This book, I honestly give it 3 stars. even though it is an encyclopedia about turtles. The main character in this book, Dawn, she loves turtles, okay? You need to be okay with that. There is a whole bunch of random turtle facts, like, everywhere. You know I'm shy. I have that in common with turtles. They're naturally shy animals. Not to say that they don't have any personality, because they certainly do, but most turtles prefer to stay in their own environment. They don't want to be played with. They don't like to be faced with any kind of threat. Their first reaction isn't to attack. They retract in the shells and hide. This book, it was definitely a palate cleanser, and I love that. Sometimes you just need a book that, like, you don't have to use so much thinking, and, like, it's basically, like, instead of not after reading a, like, heavy book and then not reading and then reading another heavy book, it's, like, just something slotted just in between there. And it's just basically, like, I don't want to say it's like you're not reading, because you are, but, like, it just helps you. Well, it helps me at least. There's a lot of, mean girl bullying behavior in this book. And a lot of people in this book, they didn't like Dawn, and that, like, actually annoyed me, because, like, if you're gonna not like Dawn, like, the reasons they were not liking to her, and, like, they were being so mean to her, and that just, like, annoyed me. And also, Dawn had some really good ideas, especially the stupid boss. Like, she wanted to create this system in the office, because basically everyone in the office is a slob, right? She wanted to create this, like, cleaning system for the fridge, because people would leave their, like, dirty food in there, and they go rotten and moldy, and then no one would do anything about it. And so Dawn's like, guys, can we stop doing this? And they acting like, the boss is like, nah. Like, they're acting like she's, like, asking for some heinous thing. It's like, no, just put your dirty, disgusting food in the bin. Like, would I recommend this? Like, honestly, I like the ending, though. I did like the ending. I was like, yes, okay. But out of, like, Freedom Patton's books, I would definitely say that, like, in the ones that I'm, like and don't like, this would be definitely on the, like side. Next, let's talk about The Wicked King and the Queen of Nothing. So, I read The Cool Prince last year. Not last year, the year before that, actually. I read this book. I read The Cool Prince, and I was just like, I'm so sick of having these books and not reading them. Or did I read it last year? I read it when I didn't have my license, because I remember I was at uni waiting for my dad to pick me up after work, and I listened to it on audio. And I was on this, like, swing thing. Yeah, 2023. That's when I read The Cool Prince. Okay. This is a fantasy series that it's very political. You don't get a break. There is something bad constantly happening. Something is always happening. Like, there's just everything just go. You do not get a break. This book series, it was stressing me out. I'm like, can we just get a moment of peace? No, you don't get a moment of peace. It's just, like, constantly go. Which, like, is a good thing. It's really fast paced, and you just want to know what's going on, because it's not even like, oh yeah, let's pause here because everything's going well. No, nothing goes well. Okay, here's the thing, right? This is not a romance. Not a romancy. No, if you're here for the romance, well, I love the romance. Because, like, the first book, crumbs. The crumbs being, in my mind, when they want to kill her, and he's like, no. Romance a lot. Oh, I'm insufferable. Why would I say such a thing? They're like, yeah, there was, like, no romance, but then all of a sudden I was like, wait, there's so much romance now. Like, what? Why are we moving so fast? With them, I don't know, I think I'm just gonna go 4 stars. Like, entire series, 4 stars, just blanket 4 stars. Because I actually really enjoyed my time reading this, and I do like Carden. So, my first 5-star of the year, just for this. Guys, I love this so much. Justin, the way that he acts, the things that he does for her, the main character. I love the main character, all the things that she goes through, the conversations, just the complexities of this main character, the things. Emma, I didn't even tell you what this book was about. Basically, this guy named Justin, he goes on Reddit, and he's like, guys, every single time I break up, my ex goes on to meet the love of their life, and she's like, wait, that's, like, so me, so they are together trying to cancel it out, so then they, But it feels like such a disservice to say that. It feels like such a disservice, because this book is it's so much more than that. And I'm not gonna lie, when I heard the plot, I was like, it stems from Reddit. I was like, the relationship this main character has with her mom, also seeing her mom struggles, but then how that in turn, like, affects everyone, especially the main character. I needed to read this book so badly for so many things, and I annotated so much of this book. I tabbed so much in this book. I'm gonna try to find you some quotes. Guess what? Now I remember who Alexis's abusive ex was. It's Neil, because I saw his name in here. Because, yeah, he does show up in this book. Okay. I'd have to wait until a reasonable hour to call him, though something told me that if I called him now and woke him up, he wouldn't mind. It was weird that I knew that if I needed him, he would be there, and he wouldn't be bothered by it, no matter how late or inconvenient the time. No, not just if I needed him, if I wanted him, he would be there. It didn't have to be important. He would be there for anything and any reason, and I knew that. Unhealed trauma is a crack, and all the little things that trickle into it that would have rolled off someone else settle. Then when life gets cold, that crack gets bigger, longer, deeper. It makes new breaks. You don't know how broken she was or what she was trying to do to fill those cracks. Being broken is not an excuse for bad behavior. You start to make good choices and do the right thing, but it can be the reason, and sometimes understanding the reason can be what helps you heal. I think the thing that always got me through the stuff with my mom was knowing that she didn't want to be the way she was. My mum put me through a lot. She hurt me a lot, but she's full of more cracks than I can ever comprehend. How do you reconcile that? I asked. How do you learn to forgive her? She shrugged. You don't have to forgive her. You really don't. You can still love someone that you decide not to speak to anymore. You can still wish them well and hope for the best of them. Choosing a life without them doesn't mean you stop caring about them. It just means you can't allow them to harm you anymore. If you don't think your life would be better without them in it, then accept that they have cracks. Try to understand how they got them and help them fill them with something that isn't nice. Okay, one more quote. I'm saying one more quote and then I'm moving on. She didn't want to be the way she was. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just me, really. Like, just stab me in the neck. Like, my last quote I'm going to say, but also it's kind of sad because I don't know, like, when I read this book, I related to one character the most, and I think just, like, in certain ways that she did things and everything, and also I was like, wait, oh my god, we're doing the same therapy, you know, but now I'm reading these quotes and I'm like, wait, and now I know more things about myself and I'm like, oh dear. And now I'm relating to someone else in this book. And it's actually putting into perspective kind of a lot of things. And I kind of want to burst into tears now. So, isn't that wonderful? Anyways, this is the last quote. I didn't want anyone near me. I didn't want anyone to know me. I wanted to be the island. I wanted to be alone and untouchable. To never rely on anyone or love anyone or let anyone love me. Because this is what love gets you. I didn't know how to love anyone or let myself be loved. I couldn't even say the word. So I was going to the island. This time, nobody would be on it. Which is my favourite book of hers. I want to read it so badly. Like, let me have the final gambit. Now, different change in pace. This is the third and last, well, yeah, in the original trilogy of the Inheritance games, last one, there is now spin-offs and stuff, but this is like the original. Basically, I feel like, I wish I read this when I was 12, right? But if you like games and riddles and mystery, and basically the entire premise is that from the first book, I'm telling you what the first book is about, not telling you this one because it's like the third one in the series, but basically this girl gets left billions and billions of dollars by this rich old man, and she's not connected to him anyway. So they're like, why did he just essentially leave this random girl his entire fortune? You know? There's a love triangle in this. Did I like it? No, I did not. However, in the second book, I was putting this off because I was very disappointed by certain things that I wanted to happen that didn't happen. Everything was made up for in this book, in my opinion. The things that I was disappointed about or I wished were different, I'm like, wait, I get it. It's okay. Yeah, just again, the love story, like the love triangle, it wasn't for me. Like, I was not connected to it in any way, and it reminded me of why I hate love triangles. And I'm a bit nervous because I am reading her Inheritance games. I'm reading the Natural series by her. Well, I'm about to. The second one is on that TBR there. I've only talked about 11 books and I've been sitting here for like an hour. Okay, now let me talk about Legendary and Finale. Now, originally I rated Finale 5 stars. Oh no, but this book is really magical though. But I love it. I think this series is just going to be like a 4-star series, just completely overall. Okay, again, I'm not going to say much, like these are the second and third book, but this has such magical, beautiful writing, so many like interesting little like magical elements. You know, so we have Caraval, which is in, you know, all about the first book, where, you know, there's like this magical game by Legend, and if you join the games, and then at the end of the games, you know, it's just magical, pretty quotes. If I reread these, I will be annotating. Two sisters. I loved Scarlet and her perspectives. I loved both these characters, right? We have Donatello, we have Scarlet. I love Scarlet. I love who she is. But I also really love Tella. I love Tella's points of view. I love the shenanigans. I love her personality. I love just, yeah, I don't want to say I'm favorite sister, but I really do love her character and everything. And yeah, I love all the little like magical aspects in this, you know, like just there's so many like little like magic things, like, you know, you have like the deck of cards and obviously the Fountain of Forgetting, and it's just, I don't know, I just really like them. Also, yeah, with Tella, I feel like there's a lot of parts that I could relate to her more than I could relate to for Scarlett. So, I don't even want to tell you how long I've been sitting here for. I need to no, I'm not taking a break. I'm not taking a break. I need to take a break. I'll be back. Now we have another 5-star, right? Oh, okay, that's shaving injury. It's so itchy. Another 5-star, we used to live here. Now, the reason why this is 5-star for me will not make any sense to you unless, like, you also grew up consuming no sleep content.
Honestly, why are both the 5-star reads so far connected to Reddit?
So, basically, we used to live here. I like this so much that, like, I want to reread it so badly, even though I know exactly what happened and, like, everything. But I love this so much. Basically, we have this couple, and they, like, run down houses, flip them. Oh, yeah, they're house flippers. That's what it's called. It's called house flipping. There's actually a real name for that. Charlie, she is very confident. She's very much, like, don't let me push you around. Like, headstrong, I guess. Yeah, confident, doesn't back down. Then we have Eve, and I feel like Eve, she represents a lot of us, the people pleaserness in us, the one who doesn't like ruffle any people's feathers, you know. Okay, Eve is by herself, right? And this nice couple comes to the door. Well, they don't look sketchy, nothing. Dad is like, look, I grew up in this home. I used to live here. I just kind of want to show the kids around, right? Anyways, Eve, she lets them in, right? And honestly, I understand why she let them in. I would have never been in this situation because I just would have never opened the door in the first place. I just wouldn't have. Really, I don't like opening the door unless I'll only open the door if I feel like it's because I have to, because it's like, I have to. Like, that's the only time I open the door. But she lets them in, and, you know, the dad, he's walking around and he's pointing things out. He's making note of, like, some random markings. He's like, wait, where is the deer head? No, not deer head. Where is the deer antler chandelier hanging from the ceiling? So, like, he knows the things that would indicate that he did, in fact, used to live in the house. You know? So, anyways, then basically what happens is Eve cannot get these people to leave the house. They will not leave the house. And, you know, then Charlie gets home, and then basically one thing to another, and essentially this family just stays for a little bit. And, like, one thing after another, right? I got so much no sleep nostalgia for this book. I feel like no sleep stories, at least the ones that I consumed. Also, the reason why I'm saying consumed is because I didn't actually read them myself. I only read a few myself. I would watch this YouTuber, her name was Courtney. She would do so many different, like, series. It'd be like scary storytelling, then it would be Let's Not Meet, which is also from Reddit, and then she'd read no sleep stories. And there's a specific vibe to them. Like, weird stuff would happen, kind of unexplainable things would happen. There'd always be a point in the story, like, where the character was, like, actually, like, alone, and it was, like, actually creepy. Because sometimes I feel like now the characters are just not alone, and I'm like, guys, but it has to be done in a very specific, oddly specific way, where it's like a false sense of security where they're with everyone and then they're not, and it's like, whoa, I don't know, it's just, I really like this. I thought there was so many, like, creepy elements to this book. I loved it, okay? And again, there's just, you get to this book and you're reading things and it's like, what is going on? Like, actually, like, what is going on? I would definitely be 100% reading more by this author. I love this book so much. Yes, 5 stars. Definitely a lot for, like, the no sleep nostalgia. Because, okay, basically why I keep saying that is because this book originally was a no sleep. No, I don't recall this. I don't ever recall reading it myself. But the fact that it was, I don't know, I just love that, by the way. Now let's talk about Craven Manor. I'm giving this book 2 stars. Because there's a lot of what is going on. Basically, this guy, he is really struggling for money and struggling with rent, and then it's like, actually, dude, you know, you can be a groundskeeper at this house. And he's like, you know what, I'm desperate, I'm gonna take the job. Okay, and weird stuff happens. Oh my god, this dude's name is Daniel as well. It was okay. Did it change my life? No, it didn't. And this author, Darcy Coates, when I think about the books that I liked and the books I didn't, this is on the books I didn't like, along with the Carroll Horn. That was also in the books that I didn't like category. Oh, okay, here we go with the book that I'm confused. I don't know what to rate this book. Now we have a love letter to whiskey. I'm very confused over this book. This book was very painful. The quotes, painful. Now, however, okay, I mentioned somewhere, I don't remember where I mentioned it, but I said that when I was going to do my January, February, and March wrap-up for this book, because when I was reading this book, I was reading quotes and I was relating very heavily. Very, very heavily. I was thinking of a very specific person. Actually, lots of specific people, actually. But there was like one main person I was thinking of heavily, and I was like, I'm going to not remember. I can say I've definitely made a lot of progress, really. I hope I'm not going to derail my entire progress. No, I'm not going to. Basically, yeah, I've made a lot of progress, and that's good. Anyways, this book, it's about these people. They are very toxic. It's very complicated because he started dating her best friend. Like, the entire thing started off by him being with the best friend. Like, isn't there a quote in the back? Yeah. I saw him first, but it didn't matter because he saw her. He was my best friend, I was his. We couldn't be together, but we couldn't stand to be apart. Another cautionary tale against a girl best friend. So what, we have this, we have book lovers. I feel like we're another one that's a cautionary tale as well. This book, it is painful, okay? It's painful. You know, problematic things are also said in this book. This one, there is like a bonus edition where like it's from Jamie's perspective, and honestly, like, I feel like it would have hit harder if there'd been some time. But because I had just read, you know, I saw it, I was just like, this feels like he was just basically recounting the exact same things. You know, there was a few scenes that was a bit more like where we got from his perspective, and I was like, okay, that makes sense, whatever. But yeah, shall I read some quotes for you? Tears found me before I even realised they were threatening to fall. I swiped at them harshly, my hands shaking before a scream ripped through my throat. I hated him. I loved him. I hated myself for loving him. I hated myself for letting him go. For letting him find someone else. It was my fault, really. I was the one who asked for distance, the one who kept it in place. He still owned that monumental piece of my heart, or my soul, my body. I felt him like a hummingbird right in the center of my chest. Wings fluttering, blood buzzing. He was always there, but now instead of focusing on that buzz, I dulled it with other, louder, more demanding sounds. Our timing still wasn't right, and we were only setting ourselves up on a higher shelf to fall and shudder once more. But I didn't care. I would suffer the break if it meant I could feel whole with him for just one night. I believed him when he said that, but sometimes we say things we don't mean. We may mean them in the moment the words leave our lips, but as time goes on, good intentions get rubbed raw by failed expectations. Those in the promising end forget why they promised at all, hearts jaded. I wish I could have realised that then, because that's exactly what I was doing. Wasting time, letting days and weeks and months of incredible, soul-shattering love pass me by because I thought I knew the right way to spell out the path of my life. Turns out I was wrong. I liked the way it hurt with him, the way it stung, the way it wasn't perfect. And so did he, but I was done hurting myself. I was done hurting him too. Maybe we were bad for each other, but maybe we were good too. I didn't love him. I was only infatuated. I only wanted what I never had. I loved the high, the burn, that was all. That's what I told myself. And then this was really the page 64, that really just shattered everything for me. That was supposed to be the last night I saw, and then it says the dude's name in the book. I was so down bad that I scribbled it out and wrote my dude's name down. I let him go just like I was supposed to, and I did my best to never think about him ever again. I really did start to let him go, but as fate would have it, that wasn't my last night, not even close. I'm closing this now. I think that this book, to a lot of people, it will make them so mad and angry and frustrated, but to other people, you will feel seen. The quotes, the things that are said, you will be like, wait, yeah. And I'm confused. I don't know what to rate this book, okay? When I look at it now, I'm like 5 stars. 5 stars. But then also the parts about the book that infuriated me, that made me, mad, and the things that were said, and I'm like, but I don't know if I can give a book 5 stars if they said the things that it was said, and I don't know. I'm confused. I just don't know. So we're gonna put that there. Okay, let's talk about Iron Flame. Now, basically, what I'm gonna say about this book is that I preferred it to Fourth Wing. So, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say about this. Is I preferred this book to Fourth Wing. Yeah, moving on. Then we have When the Moon Hatched. Now, this book could have been so good. I gave this book 2 stars, okay? I'm going to give it 1.5, maybe even just 1 star, because, guys, this had so much potential, but I was cringing, and I never thought I was going to ever finish this book. I literally never thought I was going to ever finish this, but, like, I just wish there was more about the dragons and the world, but just the relationship and the dialogue, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So much potential, but, like, where did that potential go? You know, the gods, the dragons, please. Listen, will I read the next one? Potentially. Actually, I think I will, because potential. It's just, the ideas were so good. Guys, I'm getting antsy. This book disappointed me. I loved Emily Wilde's. Wait, guys, did I mention book lovers? I feel like I mentioned book lovers at some point. I'm literally wearing my book lovers shirt. I didn't even realize that. Wait, I did. So, okay, this book disappointed me. I absolutely loved Emily Wilde's Cyclopedia of Fairies. I would reread that book. I want to read that book now. Like, that book was so good. I loved that so much. This one, on the other hand, there was just, it was a different vibe, definitely. And it didn't hit the same for me. Like, I gave this book 2 stars. I feel like if I was reading it without the expectation of the first one, I'd give it 3 stars. But no, I started this book also last year in, is either October or November. It's not bad. I just found it very tedious to get through. And I just couldn't understand, because the first book I just loved so much. I just was disappointed. And I don't know what else to say, but I was just disappointed. And the storyline in this one, I really liked the plot and what Emily was doing in the first book. And then in this one, you know, I love Bumblebee. I did like this, but it's just nowhere the same. Like, nowhere near at all its level that I loved the first one. Now, I'm gonna read the third one, and I'm gonna see how I feel about that. And I guess we can go from there. My mind changed all the time. Okay, because originally I was thinking Iron Flame, Onyx Storm, Fourth Wing. No, it goes Onyx Storm, Iron Flame, Fourth Wing. Because I like this. I like the little side quests. I like the characters. The ending is crazy. Like, what do you mean? So much was on in this book. Like, so much. And I was really interested in all of it. I was very invested. I wanted to know what was going to happen. Thoroughly enjoyed this. 4 stars. 1 star right here. The Crash Fairy Note pattern. Basically, this woman gets into a car accident. It's snowing. She gets saved by this man who takes her back to the house, and they're a couple. And his wife is helping her. And this book, have you read or seen Misery by Stephen King? This book, I feel like what happened was, I feel like the author just saw Misery, was heavily inspired. There's literally a line, there's a situation that happens in Misery, right, that Annie does to Paul, situation that happens. In this book, one of the characters contemplates doing that to the main character. So I'm like, you cannot convince me this was not inspired by Misery. You cannot. And it was just 1 star. I did not like this at all. And also, she's pregnant. She keeps talking to, like, the baby as little Tuna. She's like, little Tuna in me. What is it with the sea creatures at the moment? You know, the co-worker with the turtles. This one with Tuna. Like, guys, again, like, this could have been good. You know, the atmosphere, the ambience, everything could have been really good. I also did read this in summer, so maybe that's why when I think about this book, I'm not really getting the really cold factor. Instead, I'm getting the, oh my god, where's the aircon? I'm dying of heat. Actually, maybe 1.5 stars. Okay, next we have Watching You. This is a Lisa Jewell book. Made up for None of This Is True. I did not like that book. There's lots of different perspectives in this. Go into it blind. I don't want to really give too much away. Basically, just know everything is always connected. There's watching in this book by this one character. He's hilarious, actually. Anyways, this book is 3 stars. I really liked how there was just so many different, there was situations with different people, and they were all kind of, could have had, their own little book, but then how everything links and how, everything intertwines and everything, I really did like it. 3 stars. Would I reread? Yeah, honestly, this is a book that I would reread. There was, at one point, I was like, hang on a second, are we about to go down the same road that we went down for None of This Is True? With, the grooming stuff and, the victim blaming and that, but that didn't happen. So I was like, okay, we were close, but I did really thoroughly enjoy this book. Okay, next book we have is Tom Lake. Now, I was apprehensive to pick this up because basically it is set during It's pandemic. But it is not shoved down your face, okay? And instead, it makes sense as to why all the daughters on this farm, it makes sense as to why the mother is telling them the story of when she was younger, like her very brief period of when she was acting. I actually listened to the audiobook of this because Meryl Streep narrates it. I loved her narration of this book. This book is very slow, very slice of life, very much everything is going to be okay. It's not like you're reading on the edge of the seat, like someone is literally about to die right now and I don't want to deal with that. It's just very much like slice of life. You know, literally, as she's telling the story, it gets broken up by them cherry picking and situations in the daughters' lives, and I did like it. Cute cover as well. Love Meryl Streep's narration. Okay, now we're talking about Blue Sisters. Now, I tabbed some of this, okay? Not a lot, just a few random little things. Why was she torturing herself trying to be something she wasn't and love the people who didn't want her? Once you get to my age, you will learn that you can really take a lot of wrong turns to stop in the right place. Oh, this is what I also feel about this one. Because basically, one of her daughters in particular is like, why would you give up your acting career for this? And the mom was like, wait, no, I like this, actually. Blue Sisters is about this group of sisters, and one of the sisters passes away, and the three of them, it's, you know, different lives, how they come back together, and situations that they're each going through. And I found the situation so interesting. I just wish there was, like, more of it, and I wish it went a little bit deeper. I feel like there's a lot of, like, interesting conversations in this book, but also I felt like there was a lot of, like, weird scenes with weird implications, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. You know, I was disappointed with some aspects, but I really liked it. At the end of the day, I'm giving, like, 3 stars, 3.5 stars. I do want to give Cleopatra and Frankenstein a go, but I guess we'll see. Okay, next we have Six Scorched Roses, which is part of the Crowns of Nyaxi series, which is the very first book I talked about. Now, if this book had been full length, I would have given it 5 stars. Alas, it is 4.75 stars. I really thoroughly enjoyed this. I liked the slowness. I liked how romantic it was. I liked just how the characters, their little plots. I really like this. I like the characters dynamics. Why is this so short? Like, I really like this, guys. I really, really did. And it makes me sad that it's a novella because, like, honestly, this is my favorite out of the series. Guys, this book was so close to 5 stars. Like, I'm giving it 4 stars, but honestly, I feel like it could be 4.5, 4.75. This is Sugar Baby. Basically, this girl named Agnes, she is brought up in this very religious home. She is a cleaner in this really rich girl's house who's a model, and she's also a sugar baby. So then, basically, she brings Agnes into this world of sugaring. You know, I really like this. I, again, tabbed a few things. I think the writing style is definitely very, like, modern. Like, they talk about TikTok, Snapchat, situations which I feel like that could happen. And I'm haunted by questions like, how will I know I'm alive without Toby to witness me? How will I know I exist without Toby to touch me? And I'm not reading that. But the fact is that without Toby, I'm living in a monotonous hellscape with no adrenaline to balance out the tedium of my everyday tasks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will 100% read more by this author. I can't believe this is a debut. It's so deeply entrenched in me, the fear of God, so much more stronger than the belief. I just wish there was more about, like, the aftermath of her, like, being a sugar baby, because it's kind of like, it kind of feels like there could be a second book, because it's like, everything happens, and it's kind of like, oh, that kind of happened, yeah. And she even acknowledges that, and I wish there was more, because it's kind of like, that happened, and then everything's fine, and it's like, what? But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. Would 100% recommend it.
There's also a lot about her relationship with her mother, because that dynamic is very complex, especially the way she was raised and values she was brought up to have, and how that is instilled in her mind, and how because of that, that's how she reacts and does certain things. So I found that very interesting.
We're on the last stack. We are on the home stretch. Let's talk about the Ashes and the Starcrow King. I gave this book 3.5 stars. I definitely preferred 7 Wings of Night to this. Well, this book really solidified that I really wanted to read the next one, which we'll get to in a second, because I did also read that. Look at me, like, knocking out this series. Sorry, I feel like that's really annoying. I should probably stop doing that. Favorite line from the book, let me get, what is it? It's like, let me go to my knees for you, or like, let me get on my knees for you, something like that. Yeah, it picks up after the plot twist. Not plot twist. It picks up after the ending of the first one. Do not read the back on this if you have not read the first one, because it just, like, spoils like the ending. So I was really interested in this. It was very long, but yeah, I've read the first one and obviously loved Six Scorched Roses. Okay, next book we're talking about. Whoops. This book, 2 stars. Okay, this could have been so good. Okay, the artifacts in this haunted museum. Loved Ghost Cat. The little like murder mystery thing from the past. There were so many insufferable characters in this book. The main character, the character's friends, just the way they talked, things that they would think, what they would say. Well, the things that the main character would say, because we're in her mind. Oh, you cannot escape that. I didn't like her inner thoughts at all. Just didn't like it. And you heard that. It sounded like someone was tapping their nails at my door. I literally thought someone was at my door. Guys, let me know if you see something run in. Like, that sounded like someone was going like this. This book just wasn't for me. Let's go with that. Not continuing with the series. Next, we have Yellow Face. I'm giving this book 3.5 stars. Now, the main character in this, her name is June. June is insufferable. She is insufferable. June is a writer. Okay. Her friend, they weren't even really friends, but they're acquaintances. Her acquaintance, Athena, is really successful. And basically, Athena dies in her apartment. And June steals Athena's manuscript, right? So Athena's book is about the Chinese labor corps in World War I, right? And June is a white author, and she steals this, something that was tied to Athena's history, and she basically destroys it. The entire time, it's very hard because June is like, wait, I'm really scared people are gonna find out. Like, I'm like, well, you shouldn't have stolen it then, you rat. Like, the whole point is that you're not supposed to like June. I hated her. But we get a lot of insight into the publishing industry, into the publishing industry. There we go. Racism in the publishing industry, how everything works. And I really love the discussions in this book. I really did love it. Next book we are going to talk about is The Outsider by Stephen King. Now, this book, a very interesting premise. You know, this man has been convicted of a crime because there is like so much evidence like it's him that did this, but then there's also other evidence of him in a completely different place, and it's like, how could a man be in 2 places at once? And basically what ended up happening, read it for yourself, but I just wasn't really what I was expecting, wasn't what I was wanting, and I was so disappointed. Wasn't what I was expecting. Like, when it was revealed, I was like, oh. But you might have it revealed and be like, wow, that was like amazing. This book is again like very long, it's from perspectives. The characters were very real, portrays a lot of despicable human beings because the world is full of despicable human beings, etc, etc. Don't know what I'd rate that book. Actually, maybe like 3 stars. Then we have God and Malice. I'm not rating this book because I don't know what to rate it. Killian Carson needs to be in jail. Like, if you are going to read this is a dark romance, you need to read the trigger warnings. It starts off wild. Okay, so if you choose to keep reading, like, you know what you're getting into, okay? I really am interested in like the others and the other books and the other couples of what will be them. And it's basically like 2 rivaling universities, well, a college, just there's like gangs and fighting and like rivals, and you know, sometimes Glyndon, sometimes she annoyed me a little bit, and there is a reason why there is this mask on the front. It is revealed in the book. Next we have Wildfire. I'm giving this book 3.5 stars. What I like about this is that this book, while it's very fluffy and lighthearted and not that serious, it also is that serious because it deals with like a lot of like very real topics that happen in society, and like deeper topics, and you know, like healing and trauma. You know, I also, okay, basically go to summer camp, second book to the Icebreaker series. I loved that like setting. I loved it. I actually really like this. I liked it a lot better than the first one as well, and I really did like the ending. A lot of Aurora's thinking patterns and stuff, I was like, oh, I'm being listened to right now. I can sense it. But yeah, they're expecting just a one-time situation. That's it, not seeing each other again, but fate will bring them together. So it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It's nice reading about happy endings, seeing people get happy endings when you know it's never going to be you. Okay, next up, Butcher and Black. This is a dark comedy. It's very fun, it's very comedic, but also like the people they're killing, the stuff they did is heinous. And I feel like if it didn't have that sort of like comedic kind of aspect, this book would be very like really, really like dark and just, I do listen to audiobooks because everyone is like, listen to audiobook, it's a really good audiobook. You know, some lines I was a bit icked out at, but some lines I was like, ooh. I will continue. There's a lot of time jumps. He is like obsessed with her. There is, you know, this man, he literally falls in love with her immediately. Next we have Song About House. I moved this book 4 stars. This is Misha's story. Misha is in the first books. Now the thing is, right, I didn't really like this. I wish it was more about the world, because there's a little like situation that they, you know, little kind of journey they go on with a whole bunch of different worlds, you know, and I wish we got more about it. I wish we got more of the characters from the first duet, because we didn't really get much, but I also kind of like that, you know, I kind of like when the characters are just kind of like, but they weren't even by themselves because there were other people there. The ending in this, I need the next one, I need the next one, I need the next one, because the ending in this, like, what do you mean? Like, I also really like the romance in this. I think, you know, I'm getting to books that, like, I've just recently read, so it's not really, like, that exciting talking about them, because I feel like I literally just talked about them. Anyways, we have Julia. I'm not sure if I'm glad I read this. I had literally 3 years of expectations in this, because 1984, I love that book, gave that book 5 stars. This is a spin-off. This is, like, written from Julia's perspective. Julia is a pivotal character in 1984, but in this book she's like she's actually a character. She's not just how Winston perceives her. Certain word choices in this book made me gag, and it really took me out of the story. It really delved into like what it would have been like for women, which I really did appreciate, because we didn't really get that much in 1984, because obviously Winston is not thinking like that. The best scene in this book was the torture scene, which if you've read 1984, that torture scene, yeah, it was the best scene in this book. Like, I feel like the beginning I was like, yeah, middle I was like, yeah, the torture scene I was like 5 stars for the torture scene and the rat and just all that, 5 stars for that. And ending I was like, I like the ending. I'm conflicted in how I feel. So when I'm rating it, I'm not. Am I rated it? No, but right now I'm not. Next we're going with Never. This book was icky. It didn't have to be icky, but it was icky. Now they're beautiful lines, interesting storyline, interesting characters, interesting world. Loved it. Honestly didn't think there was gonna be much plot, and then all of a sudden, like near the end, like crazy stuff starts happening, and it's like actually high stakes, and like I'm interested in like how it's gonna go in the next one. But like it didn't have to be icky. Like the relationship, like there was like it's a love triangle is one, and a guy that I like, but like it feels weird because like he was doing like a countdown situation until she turned 18, and I was like, yuck, like that is just disgusting. That is disturbing. It didn't have to be like that. It's a bit sinister, you know. It is quite a bit sinister, but I wanted to read this book before Conditional Will comes out, which Conditional Will has come out, and Booktopia, I gave them another chance, and the book still hasn't arrived. So every other pre-order I've ever ordered from Booktopia, same as Say Remember Me, okay, every other pre-order, literally from Booktopia, I get the day of, but no, both of them, don't know what's happening. Get them? I don't know. I mean, I'm giving Booktopia a chance after the debacle that happened last time I ordered from them, and then after they shut down, and then that entire mess, but yeah. Okay, next we have Mile High. Guys, we're getting to the home stretch. Mile High. This is 2 stars. Now, honestly, it was nowhere near as I did really the entire thing. I started off by just listening to it randomly, and then on Spotify, like in like the last like hour or 2 that I had left in my audiobook listening time, and then I just like binged it. It's like nowhere near as bad as like what I was expecting. I definitely preferred the second half more than the first. I didn't really feel the chemistry between them all that much, but that could just be me. I feel like she just deserved better. Like there were just some things that he did, and I was like, oh, I don't know, like. But honestly, it started getting better, and then I could definitely then sense their chemistry a bit later on. But at the start, I was like, no. It's very standard, I would say. Like it's just a standard contemporary romance. And I will be continuing because I do want to know what's going to be in the next ones. Okay, next week. Oh yeah, by the way, he's like really rich hockey player. She's the flight attendant on their like jet thing for the season. Oh, I'm not even explaining the books. Guys, sorry, going back to this one. Basically, Daphne and her family, like Peter Pan, takes them to Neverland, like all the girls in her family, and then she like kind of stays there. And it's kind of sad because all these women are like they're pining after this guy. And I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. Like, what's going on here? Why are they all obsessed with the same guy? And they're like related, but like generationally. Yeah, Peter also sucks. He's the worst. Then we have this. So we have Declan and Iris, and basically Dreamland Billionaire series, second book. to get the inheritance, all the brothers have to do certain things. So in the first one, the fine print, he had to like propose like this new advancement to the park. This one, he has to get married and have kids. Anyways, Iris keeps trying to get him to have like a woman, you know, and it's not working. And then worst comes to worst, and she has to just be like, look, it just has to be me, because like how everything reads, it just has to be her. Does it really though? Whatever. Fake dating, well, fake marriage really, then like fake dating, and then like what I love about the fake dating is like just the, is it real or is it not real? That kind of annoys me, but also I kind of love it. 3.5 stars. I liked it better than the fine print. I loved Iris. I liked little like random like scenes, like when they went to the safari. Thanks for keeping 13. I finally finished this. I cried a lot in this. This book follows Shannon, and Shannon has been through a lot. Everything that girl has been through, she's been through so much. It's really heartbreaking to see. It's really sad. Even the happy things are tinged with sadness. There just certain things happen. I just felt so sick, and there's just so much injustice. Honestly, there was a lot of, but there's also like explicit things that are in, and I'm like, they did not have to be like that, because the characters, like, you're writing about scenes, if they were that age, like if the characters in the book, like for certain parts of it, it's like they wouldn't be able to buy this book because it's 18+. Also, I didn't think that like people saying they thought it was like classified as young adult. I thought it meant like in like the library or like in bookstores it'd have like the young adult section. No, it is labeled as young adult, because like I ordered this, like this is from America, I think. This book is not young adult, but like I can see why they think that, because the characters are like they're young adult age. I don't know when I rate this, but I do wish I read it when I do wish I read it when I was younger, because obviously like when you're younger, like I used to read so many things about like such like things happening, and I just didn't care because I was the same age as the characters. But now I'm like, oh, I don't know, like that seems wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyways, but yeah, I cried a lot in this, and I'm really scared to read Joey's book, but I think I'm gonna like it. So there's that. And then when you talk about Manacled, do I even need to say Manacled changed my life? Don't know what to say. Continuously changed my life since I was 15 years old. Like desolate, sad, just it's everything. It's everything. And when Alchemist comes out, I will be insufferable. Yep, I'm already am. But that's my wrap up for January, February, and March. And it's gonna be a long video. Okay, no, never again. I will just be doing the normal monthly wrap-ups, I think. Maybe I might do a Q2 one, potentially, I don't know. All the books are just right there now, and I took them off my bookshelf. It was Jenga putting them on there. I'm tired, I don't know. I feel like this wrap-up wasn't even good at all, but I'm not refilming it. I cannot. So if you are somehow still here, thank you. You don't know how much that means to me, and I need to go. I need to lay down. Just thank you if you're still here. Goodbye. I'll see you in the next one.